So the first topic I'm going to talk about is that Neve Campbell has been announced to be reprising the role of Sidney for Scream 7. I think this is exciting news for Scream 7 because a lot of people, I think after they fired the main actress who played Sam, one of the two Carpenter sisters in Scream 5 and Sis, I think a lot of people were just not excited for Scream 7 anymore. And I think bringing her in, I know there was rumors they were trying to get her back. I know with Scream 6, they couldn't work out a deal to get Neve Campbell back as Sidney. I didn't miss her character in that movie. I actually felt like she had a great exit in Scream 5. But I do think this gets people, especially from people like me who are big Scream fans, interested in Scream 7 and excited for that movie again. I also hope they bring back the actor. I can't remember the name of the actor, but he played the actor who played the detective character in Scream 3. That was kind of like a love interest for a character, and then they do reference his character in a scene in Scream 5 showing she's with that character. And we haven't seen him since Scream 3, so I would love to see that character back again. But I think this definitely, for me personally, I think for a lot of Scream fans, gets people interested in Scream 7 again. Like, I would have been fine if they wanted to hold off on Scream 7 after, like, firing the lead actress and the fact that Jenna Ortega wasn't coming back. Whether that had to do with scheduling conflicts or was she was sticking by the lead actress, who knows. But the Carpenter sisters both weren't going to be in Scream 7. And look, I still would prefer if I got to see the end of that story because I think the ending of Scream 6, and I really love Scream 5 and 6, I think the idea of having Sam go to the dark side, like the actor who played Bully was talking about, I think there was this. I really would like to have seen the end of that whole story arc because obviously Scream 5, 6, and 7 was supposed to be a trilogy about the Carpenter sisters. And I always loved the fact that made Sam different from Sidney because I love both characters, but I love the idea that you see her like in end of Scream 5 and one of Scream 6 where she could have gone to the she could still go to the dark side and become like her father Billy, and I think the duality could have been really interesting to see how that story ends. But I think if you're not gonna reboot the Scream franchise, this is probably the best way to get people excited for Scream 7 again after firing the lead actress from Scream 5 and 6 and not bringing back Jenna Ortega either. So I just hope they have a good story because, like I said earlier, I think Scream 5 was a great exit for Neve Campbell's character as Sidney because in Scream 5 she only came back the Sidney character because Dewey died, one of the original characters from the first 5 Scream movies, from the first 4 Scream movies, and he gets killed off in Scream 5. But that's the only reason she came back into the story. So I just hope they have a good story reason to bring Sidney back because the one thing I worry about is that sometimes with some horror franchises, you have like that popular main character and they keep going back to that character. Like the recent Halloween trilogy is a great example of this. Where I feel like after that trilogy, I don't need to see a Halloween movie about Laurie Strode because we've seen so many interpretations of Laurie Strode and so many timelines in the Halloween franchise with that character that I want to see new characters. And I would have been perfectly fine if you just kind of had Sidney with Scream 5 get a happy ending. Where she has a family in that movie and she's not living in Woodsbury anymore. So I just hope they come up with a good reason to bring her character back in the story. That's the only way I have is just have a good story reason. And I do trust the writer because I think they hired, I believe, I think his name is Kevin Williams, I think is the name of the Kevin Wilson, yeah. I'll say this by Kevin Wilson. He's been announced as a director. I don't know if I'm actually not sure if he's writing the movie too or not. If he is, I think he's a good pick for a writer because he wrote the original Scream movie I love. He wrote I Know What You Did Last Summer, another great horror slasher that I love. He wrote Scream 2, another one that I love. He wrote The Factory, an underrated horror movie that I love with like a horror sci-fi movie that deals with aliens. That was a movie that I love too. I wasn't a fan of Coast, but I know that movie got messed with studio-wise. And he also wrote Scream 4, which I thought was okay, and he wrote The Sick, which I wasn't a fan of. But the one thing I'm kind of worried about with him as a choice to be a director is that he's written 3 of the Scream movies, and 2 of them I love, and the one Scream 4 I thought was okay. But he's only directed 1 movie, which is Teasing Miss Tingle, which I've never seen. So I'll be honest, I'm not really excited with him as a directing choice for the movie. Like if he's writing a movie, I think that's a great choice. But him as a directing choice for Scream 7 is like, well, yeah, he's written 3 of the Scream movies. 2 of them I love and one I thought was okay, but he's only directed 1 movie before this, so I can't really say whether I can't say I'm excited directing choice wise for Scream 7, but when it comes to that side of the story, yeah, when it comes to the choice for directing Scream 7 with the Kevin guy, I'm not really excited by the directing choice personally. It's just he's only directed 1 movie and it doesn't, at least on Wikipedia, it's only showing 1 movie. Where I didn't see that movie, so I can't really say whether he's a good choice to direct the next Scream movie. The next thing I want to talk about is the Venom movie, Venom 3, has moved up its release date to October, I believe, and it got a title. Now, I always say in my videos, I don't really care about titles. A title with me isn't gonna make the movie any better. It doesn't make the movie terrible. It doesn't make the movie great. It's just a title. It's like a poster, I always say. You can have a great poster, you can have a terrible poster, but that doesn't affect the quality of the movie. But I would say when it comes to the title for Venom 3, The Last Dance, I think the title's fine. It's not it's not a title that I love. But I mean, I do understand like why they named it The Last Dance, because I know it's been with Tom Hardy. It kind of sounds like this is gonna be his last time playing Venom. So I guess you can interpret the title. I was like, okay, since this is the last time he's gonna play Venom, this is gonna be the last movie. So The Last Dance does make sense. It's just one of those titles where it's like I'm just kind of like, it's okay title. Like I don't really have feelings one way towards another with the title of Venom 3. It's not the best title I heard, but I don't hate the title either. Like it's just a very kind of like fine title that I don't feel either way for. But I think the important part of the story is the fact that Venom 3 has been moved up. I think anytime a studio moves a movie up from its previous release date, to me that shows that studio has confidence in the movie. Because, whether you like those Venom movies, hate them, love them, obviously, they haven't done the best critically with the critics. Like they actually got good audience scores, but I know the first Venom movie has like a 30%. The second Venom movie has a 55, 56%, something like that in the 50s, where critics seemed to enjoy the second Venom movie more than the first one. But even with that, the critics were split on the second Venom movie, and critics just didn't like the first one. But at the end of the day, those movies make money. So, I mean, hopefully this is a sign, though, that if it's moving up to earlier release date, that means they have a good movie that maybe would do well critically this time. Who knows? And look, I'm not gonna lie, I love Venom, like, to be honest. The movie's ridiculous. I can totally understand why critics were split on that movie. And I don't hate the first Venom movie. I think it's okay. Like I enjoyed it, I had a decent enough time with it. So title change wise, to me, doesn't matter. I think moving the movie up earlier, I think that does show Sony has confidence in the movie, and they obviously need a win right now after Morbius and Madam Web. And they definitely need Craven to do well, and I'll say this, I have more like confidence in Venom 3 than I do in Craven. The next thing I want to talk about is that the reactions for Monkey Man came out. Now I'm really excited for this movie. I believe it's coming out next month, and I didn't know this. The director of it is the guy who played who was the lead actor in The Green Knight, which is a movie that I love. Like I highly recommend, go check out The Green Knight. I can't remember the actor's name, but he played the lead character in that movie. And he was fantastic in that. But this is a debut, apparently, and the reactions are sounding really good and really positive. Like, I know it has, I think, 90% of Rotten Tomatoes. Obviously, it hasn't had too many reviews yet, so that score is going to change. But I think there was some festival where they showed that, Roadhouse, and a couple of other movies. But I'm just glad to hear it's getting at least a good word of mouth because the trailers look really good, and I'm hoping it'll be one of those really fun action movies because the action looks really good from what I can tell in the trailers at least. And it's good to hear that an actor who's doing his debut movie, this is his first time directing a movie, that sounds like he got a good response at the festival that the movie was showing at. So it makes me more excited personally for Monkey Man, and hopefully it turns out to be a really fun and great movie when I actually see it. Then the last thing I want to talk about is Batman 2 has been delayed until 2026. Now this sucks because I love the first Robert Pattinson Batman movie. I love Robert Pattinson in the role. I'm excited for the Penguin show. So it sucks it got delayed, but at the same time, I'm always on the mindset that, you know what, I want a movie take long if it takes long to make a good to great movie. Like if it like that first Batman movie, Robert Pattinson, was fantastic. I know Matt Reeves had a trilogy playing out, and I rather them take the time and put out a good to great movie than just watch the movie out. So even though it sucks that it's been moved a whole year, at the same time, if it means that the movies we're gonna get a good to great movie out of it, then that's all I care about at the end of the day. Like I'm always on the mindset when it comes to delaying movies. I always say this: I want a studio take the time to put out a quality movie if you feel you need to delay it to make the best movie possible. And I trust Matt Reeves. You know, like I said, the Batman, you know, did great critically, financially, and to me, it's one of my favorite comic book movies. So I wanted him just take the time to put out the quality movie if they need to. You know, and that's and I think maybe they also delayed it to get more space between the DC films, probably, because I'm sure, you know, they need to get the DC universe started with James Gunn stuff, since the Batman is obviously an Elseworld movie. But like, you know, like I keep saying, I rather them put out a good movie. That's more important in my opinion than what's not a movie if the quality isn't up. If they feel like they need more time to really put out a great movie. So that's all the movie topics today. Until next time, movie fans.